This is an equation, a system of equations that I'd like to solve using the substitution method. I can solve this using substitution because if you notice the first equation says y equals 4x plus 3. That means y means the same thing as 4x plus 3. So what I would like to do is write down my substitute step, and when I do my substitute step I'm going to put the top equation 4x plus 3, that's what y is equal to, and I'm going to plug it in for this y right here. So my bottom equation is going to become 2x minus 3, and instead of writing the letter y, I'm going to write 4x plus 3, and it's still going to be equal to 21. So that's my substitution step. Now what I need to do is solve this equation. So I'm going to draw a line through where my equal sign is, and it looks like I'm going to have to do a distributive property, and so let's make sure we can do that correctly. I will have 2x. If I take a negative 3 times a 4x, I get negative 12x. And if I take negative 3 times positive 3, I get a negative 9, equals 21. The next thing I need to do is combine like terms together. I have a 2x and a negative 12x. Those have opposite signs, so I need to subtract them. And that would give me 10x. It's going to be negative 10x because 12 was the bigger number. Minus 9 equals 21. Now from here, this is just a two-step equation. I need to add 9 to both sides, and I just need to be careful with signs. Don't lose the negative sign. I have negative 10x equals 30, and then I need to divide both sides by negative 10, and once I divide both sides by negative 10, I'm going to end up with x equaling, if I take positive 30 divided by negative 10, I get negative 3. I'm halfway done. Now what I need to do is plug x equals negative 3 into one of those two equations. I think the top equation would be easier. So my top equation is going to be y equals 4. Instead of x, I now know x is negative 3 plus 3. And so again, be careful with signs. Negative 12 plus 3 gives me a y value of negative 9. So if I wanted to write my answer as an ordered pair, I could write my answer as the coordinate point negative 3, negative 9. And if I graphed these two lines, that's where the two lines would intersect. Here are two examples where I would like to solve the equation for y. This means putting it into slope-intercept form. So in the first equation, I want to make sure that I get this y all by itself. And to get that all by itself, I have to subtract 3x from both sides. So let's make that our first step. Then I will have 5y equals, and a 15 and a negative 3x, these are not like terms, so I can't combine them together. I'm just going to write them next to each other. Negative 3x plus 15. Now I need to get rid of that 5, so I need to divide everything by 5. And when I do that, I have y equals, if I take a negative 3 divided by a 5, it's just that fraction, negative 3/5 x, and then 15 divided by 5 is 3. So this would be my equation in slope-intercept form. My slope would be negative 3/5, and my y-intercept would be the point 0, 3. That's what the plus 3 at the end stands for. Let's take a look at the second one. I again want to get this y all by itself, so I'm going to subtract x from both sides. I just need to be careful on this one not to lose negative signs and not to make mistakes with them. I'm going to have negative 3y equals, again, these two things are not like terms, so I just need to write them next to each other. Negative x plus 18. Now let's divide everything by negative 3, and then dividing everything on the other side by negative 3. So y is going to be equal to, if I take a negative 1, there's really a 1 here, divided by negative 3, I would get positive 1/3 x, and if I take 18 divided by negative 3, I get a minus 6. So this would be that equation rewritten in slope-intercept form. The slope would be 1/3, and the y-intercept would be the point 0, negative 6.